Yeah, I'm doing this to raise awareness.
Is that your
Hey,
There's my code
hey,
here.
just because the hairdresser's closed down, don't
You know
mean
what?
you're gonna have this.
Raise awareness. That's like you're driving down the road. You see there's been a car crash. You pull over. You stand there and go, look, there's been a car crash. And the people are like, could you help us? No, I'm raising awareness. Look.
By the way, that's online right now.
Good. I don't care. That's a great joke. I love that joke.
I thought it was because we were going to talk about cats tonight.
Could be. Could be.
Oh, that's
He can shave it off now.
Is it table?
am I right?
Yeah.
Cats is
we
table.
tabled it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
She wanted to present in person.
that's fair.
All right, we're live. So
So, we on everywhere? Yes. Are you sure?
Nope. Hello.
Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and begin then. Good evening. This is the Mayor's Agenda, City of Hannibal Official Council Agenda, Tuesday, April 21st, 2020, Council Chambers, 7 p.m. And I'd ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson.
Here.
Councilmember Cogdill. Here. Mayor Hark.
Here.
Councilmembers Bowen.
here,
Welch.
Here.
And Beach.
Here. There being a quorum, I would call this meeting to order. Councilman Dobson, would you do the invocation? Surprise.
Heavenly Father, bless us tonight as we are about to make the decisions for the city. Watch over the city and our country, Lord, and protect it from the virus that's running rampant. Be with people that have lost their loved ones and the people that are in the hospital. We ask us in Jesus' name, amen.
And Councilman Bowen, will you lead us in the pledge?
Of the United States of America. And to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you both. Council, at this time, there was an item that Mayor Pro Tem Dobson wished to be added to the agenda. It's in regards to equipment testing, a request, and he'd like to present that. Do I have a motion to approve that addition to the agenda?
So move.
Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Therefore, now I would ask a motion to approve the agenda as amended this Tuesday, April 21st, 2020.
So move.
second.
Motion is second. Any discussion over the amended agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now requesting a motion to approve the minutes of the regularly scheduled council meeting of April 7th, 2020.
So moved.
Motion is second. Any discussion over the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Now requesting a motion to approve the payroll and claims for the first half of April 2020.
So moved.
Motion is second. Any discussion over payroll and claims? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion's carried. Council, next item on the agenda was the Northeast Humane Society. Janet Smith had a presentation this evening. However, she's asked for that to be tabled until such time that the restrictions are lifted and the social distancing has been relaxed, so she could present this in person. So I would ask to motion to table this at this time.
So move.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Now, council, under my name for recommendation of reappointment for a first reading to the Employee Benefit Trust Board, Bianca Quinn for a reappointment for a term to expire May of 2023, and Matt Lay, reappointment for a term to expire May of 2023. This is just a first reading, and it will come back at the next regularly scheduled council meeting. Next item is our city manager, Lisa Peck.
Good evening. I have before you the approval of an appointment to the Hannibal Board of Public Works of John Ortwith, with appointment for a term expiring in July of 2022.
Okay, is there a motion?
Make the motion.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion over this recommendation for appointment? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next item on the agenda is the Director of Central Services, Andrew Dorian. Good evening, Andy.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. One item tonight, We had one traffic committee recommendation. Councilwoman Toggle and I had met on Collins Street a while back ago. Some parking issues. So what we decided at that meeting in that traffic committee is to go ahead and flip the no parking from the east side to the west side. There's 3 entrances on the west side. So it was more simple switch signs.
Okay. Any questions? Item?
Is that supported by the residents in the area?
Yeah, I've had quite a bit of feedback. There, like you said, there's a driveway, there's alleyways and things like that on the one side, so there's quite a bit of parking issues. Plus, it's a hill, you know. I think there was, if there was any feedback, it might be one resident, but all the residents definitely support it. It will open up quite a few parking spots for them.
Good.
So hopefully, everybody will benefit.
Thank you for that.
Very good, thank you.
Thank you, Andy.
Next item, our Finance Director, Karen Burdick. Looks like you have a couple of things for us.
Yes, the first item is setting the schedule for the budget for the 2021 year. The schedule that I'm presenting does push it out till as possible because we cannot claim budget item. So by 7. Have a payroll. And the reason why we're pushing it out that idea, quite tough to so, you know, every week that we have extra so that is
Question on that. Will that go before planning and zoning before it comes to council? Or are we going to skip that step this time? And then I guess my question would be to James, is that required?
Mayor Pro Tem, I'm not sure. I've never had that question asked, and I'm gonna have to look at the charter. I mean, if it's, I'm inclined to believe that if it's required by ordinance, which means you all can vary it.
Okay.
The only thing that would prevent you from changing it would be if it's in the charter. It's not state law.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you an 85-90% that it's okay, but I would like a chance to review the
All right.
charter to verify.
Okay, thank you. I mean, it always has in the past.
Right.
And,
Well, and usually when we do things a particular way, there is a reason for it, but the only time where we're locked into things that we have to do it a particular way is if there's a state law in point or if it's in the charter. And I don't believe that is. I think it's either by ordinance or practice, but I'm going to have to look.
Okay, very good.
I know it's not just by practice. It's one or the other, and I'm thinking it's the charter.
You
That's
think it
why-
is in the charter?
I'm
Yes,
thinking it's in
that's-
charter.
Well, I'm looking it up
Yeah,
to
because
see
we
if I
read
can
it
find
last
something.
year.
Well, I can look at it, but I figure you guys would want to keep rolling.
I was just trying to look while you were talking.
Well, we can
Usually that's a pretty good time.
take pause for a moment and check real quick.
Let's see. Section 13.02, James.
Hang on. I've still got to get to the charter first. Charter ordinances, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Section 13.02, or chapter 13, under planning and zoning.
In, all right, let me look.
charter.
Okay, so we're talking about the requirement to submit to the city manager a capital improvements list, correct?
The five-year
That has-
capital improvement plan, yes.
That has been submitted to me, and that is ready to go.
Okay.
They had canceled because of the no public meeting last,
Things like a page and a half. I'm going to read.
but that is slated for the next public meeting that we actually have.
Mayor Pro Tem, tell me your question again. I'm sorry.
Is it required that planning and zoning hear the budget before it goes to council?
I'm not seeing that.
The capital.
The cap,
Just the
It's the capital plan. They're supposed to submit the capital plan. The technical reading, seeing this is,
The 1964 language?
The capital plan is prepared and ready to be presented and to them. It's
Okay.
just the matter of the public meeting.
well, that's what.
Yeah, I'm not
If
seeing-
things go according to how the governor's got it lined out now, everything opens up
Right.
on the
It
4th.
should.
And we should be able to have a planning and zoning
Right.
meeting.
Right, then it should work.
And it's always been made with department heads. But if we
Well-
want to err on the side of, social distancing, it could be done without that.
there's no requirement that planning and zoning meetings have to be done in person.
Okay.
So you could do a Zoom or a meeting,
Okay.
so long as you make provision for the public to attend, so that you don't run afoul of the provisions of the Sunshine Law. You could
Okay.
use one of those third-party things to go ahead and do the meeting and have it, because the only thing that's required is that plan has to be submitted 90 days prior, but there's no other specific requirements that I'm seeing on admittedly a fairly quick
90
look.
days prior to,
90 days prior to the beginning of the fiscal year.
so are we going to miss that?
Potentially, if you don't go ahead and have a meeting.
I'm just trying to answer the what ifs. I mean, the governor could change his mind too. I mean, we
Right.
could start seeing cases. So
Well, my recommendation would probably be that what you ought to think about doing is going ahead and trying to set up some type of a Zoom or GoToMeeting
okay.
in order to get it done.
So
Um,
would you get with Edie on that?
But
So-
the converse of that, what I was going to say was, as far as what happens if you haven't done it, that's a little hazier. You need the capital plan in order to prepare the budget is the assumption, and I'm going to presume that's why they put it in there. But that's not to say you couldn't timely have a budget even if that plan hadn't been presented to the city manager. But my suggestion would be best to try and go ahead and do some type of virtual meeting.
Do we need to make that, submit that to the council for approval to have that open?
The planning and zoning is not required to. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not a requirement, so
So, any other questions about the schedule for the budget? Okay.
So with everything working perfectly, or as near perfect as we can make it, those dates should work. Is there a motion to approve those dates?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. And your next item.
Okay, the next item, we did receive the money from the last USDA grant. We can only have one grant going at a time, so now that that is basically closed, we are applying for another grant to purchase a new street sweeper and a front end loader. And we need to set another public information meeting. And USDA has approved to have it where we post it publicly. Citizens will have an opportunity to email Angel the day prior to the meeting, and that will be posted in the paper on Thursday and posted on our doors and website, how they can do that. And then any concerns that they have will be read at the public information meeting. And I would like for all to agree to set that for the next council meeting at 6:45 here in the council chamber.
Have you omitted the police department surveillance
Yes.
equipment?
Yes,
Okay.
we have. I'm sorry.
That's included.
That is being taken out.
It's being taken out?
Right, at this time. The street sweeper and front end loader, the 65% that we are responsible for is going to come out of sales tax cap fund. And at this time, we are going to look at other avenues, other grants, and see what might be available.
Okay.
And then once this is wrapped up, maybe we will look at that again.
Is this USDA grant different than the Union Street grant?
Yes, the Union Street is emergency CDBG.
Okay.
This is USDA Rural Development.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions on that?
Make a motion to set the public hearing?
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, the HCVB Director, Gail Bryant. Good evening.
Mayor, City Council, I am here this evening for a couple of items also. First item is the city-owned property at 505 North 3rd Street. City Clerk opened one bid on April 13th for $70,000. I was here in front of you at the first part of March. Our world has now changed. So since it was lower than the last bid that we had accepted, in February, or the January bid, that the board is recommending rejection because the last bid was more, 70. However, I'd just like to reiterate that we're in a different world. And so this will be our 5th time for the RFP. So
Mayor?
whatever you decide, but we did, from the standpoint, the board did reject it, just in fairness from the last.
I believe that the fair market value's been set for the property at 505 North 3rd. The last bid was $73,000. This one's $70,000. I would say in the world we're in, we're not going to gain any money for the Convention of Visitors Bureau by prolonging this. It's liable to go the other way. I would make a motion that we accept the $70,000 bid.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And that is opposed? Motion's carried to accept bid of $70,000 for the 505 North 3rd Street. Okay, your next
Okay.
item.
On a positive note, here we go with our second item. I'm here tonight requesting council approval to allow the mayor to accept the change order decrease. This is the only change order that we've had on our project. This is the Convention and Visitors Bureau Welcome Center project. So as we come to a close, I am proud to stand here.
It's been a long road.
And ask that we can accept the change order for $8,011.44. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
That's an $8,000 reduction in
Yes.
the, yes.
Yes, we are under budget. We are coming in under.
That helps. Just accept it that way.
Yes, it comes out in a wash in a way. James?
I'm looking at you pensively because I need to back up and ask a question on the last item. I haven't seen it. Did they make a formal contract offer, or do I need to draft a contract?
It's just a written bid.
Written bid.
So
We'll have to do a
we'll
contract.
need to formalize with contract. I just wanted to make sure.
I know, I could feel from our city attorney, I
I
can feel
suddenly
something.
realized I had not seen a contract offer, and I'm like, maybe there's one I haven't seen. I better ask that question. So I'll get a
Okay.
contract ready.
And we do the deed and everything.
So,
So,
bringing back to topic at hand,
yes,
you're giving us good news that we are going to have a change order in 8,011.44
yes.
to our
under bid.
benefit,
Yes.
and that's a resolution to follow.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is a resolution 2256-20. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution, call the roll for adoption.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Resolution number 2256-20, a resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute and accept change order decrease number 1 between the city and Bly Construction Company relating to the construction contract for the Hannibal Convention and Visitors Bureau Affiliate Welcome Center project in the amount of $8,011.44. Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Cogdall?
Yes.
Mayor Hark?
Yes.
Councilmembers Bowen?
Yes.
Welch?
Yes.
And Veach.
Abstain.
Okay, I declare resolution 2256-20 duly approved and adopted on this day. And council, we're now at the portion requesting go into closed session in accordance with our SMO 610.021, paragraph 2, admitting myself, city council, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, and director of central services, Andy Dorian. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson?
Yes.
Councilmember Cogdall?
Yes.
Mayor Hark?
Yes.
Councilmembers Bowen?
Yes.
Welch?
Yes.
And Veach.
Yes.
Very good. Thank you, everyone, for your presentations this evening. Be safe.